I think it's a toss in the air on what the pickup is going to be like. But hey, the lapu-lapu. So, based on what we saw a while ago on the left side of our screen, all 5 of our most used heroes have been either picked or banned, with 4 of them being part of the 2 teams lineups.
Yeah. I'm wondering what Dominkite's really considering at this point. You has never touched the Lunox. The Ruby hasn't been successful for Dominkite so far.
So he's had his hands on finer gold lanes, but
it didn't work. Even the Roger one time. So maybe they will revert to the traditional marksman. The Moskov is still there. Oh, but they go Kimi mid.
Oh. Okay, so they're gonna go with the CC gold lane.
So this is why they took out the X-Borg as well. It's not necessarily the Ruby. They already had the gold lane all along.
Yeah.
But of course, it's really a flex pick, so we could never tell. Edward on the Uranus. Look at how tanky this lineup is for Aurora.
That's a lot of front line.
Okay.
Yeah, so with that being said, there's going to be enough space, enough room for Demon Kite to roam around and do whatever the hell he wants in the jungle. It's just that for Benny Cutie, the hero that we are looking for him is, I don't know.
Is he going to go fighter?
He has a high tendency of going fighter gold lane.
Yeah, but you need damage. You need a way to deal with all this.
There you go. You talked about damage, right?
I really like the way he played the Obsidia yesterday. Very aggressive. Never knew you could use it to ambush players just by hiding in the bush and using the Hunt of Bone.
And that was one of the best, if not the best, Obsidia gameplay that we saw in the entire season. Because a lot of teams are 50-50 towards this Obsidia. But and yet, it's, you know, TNC making it work against Twisted yesterday.
Yeah. Definitely the late game, the wave management for TNC is what I am going to be paying attention to, considering that they might need to be a bit more farm heavy in their lineup. Aurora, on the other hand, being this very tanky lineup that you see, they can afford to make their presence be felt early on.
The Northern Lights looking to showcase everything against the Phoenix Army. Naisu, Leo, gotta take this away, boys.
Take it away, we shall. Welcome to the second and final match here for day 2 of the playoffs here, MPL Philippines Season 16. Once again, to join you guys watching and tuning in from around the world, it's me, Naisu and Leo, to take you in on the action. It's Aurora versus TNC Pro Team. Leo, Aurora has been dominant all season long. TNC, they went some distance yesterday. Do you think they have the right ingredients here for game number 1 to go in the belt in favor of TNC?
I think they're favored just going into the draft. Looking at this lineup, all you gotta do is win that first 1 or 2 turtles, and then don't even think about the third because they drafted an Obsidia. Benny Cutie needs to farm up. Sure, Chagno's hanging around here, but that's what the CC's built for. Dominkite is gonna hunker down. Like, I love how they alluded to it and then just went full on through. Oh no, Lancey! Forced to use the flicker. See that? All this while, Dominkite's just chilling. See that?
He's chilling, man.
I'm not even afraid for him. He's just a little.
He's just a little. He's staying there too. But again, he knows that he can go ahead and get some of that health back again. This is CC. Not to mention, you've got the Brave Smite emblem there too. You're going to be able to go ahead and heal back up. Now, one of the things about it is, again, if you guys missed the performance of Benny Cutie on the Obsidia yesterday, he had a hell of a performance. Again, it was one of those things, a topic of discussion when he locked in the Obsidia. We haven't seen, I feel like, that good of a game from anyone just yet, except for Benny Cutie last night. So maybe if he's able to go ahead and replicate the same thing here, you would be able to say that, yeah, Benny's damn good on the Obsidia, because this would be against a team that is Aurora, who's been #1 and really kind of unstoppable for the season.
And this map is the perfect place to do that. Chagno comes through that safely as light runs into him. Edward, again, either side of the map, you send 2 members of TNC to take care of Aurora. It's not going to happen. Turtle down to 1/10 of its health. Oh my god, Demon Kite falls, and 3 more secures it. TNC collapse on Aurora. Where'd that come from? I'll tell you now, that's what you call a Phoenix Flash.
That's the Phoenix Flash we saw yesterday as well. Man, talk about a move. And that's 2 kills. That's a double for Zyda. Again, Zyda, one of the most competitive junglers in the season. I think a lot of people would definitely put him top 3 right now for all our junglers in MPL Philippines.
I definitely would. Maybe only slightly behind Demon Kite. And then before today's first series, King Kong. We're going to talk about that. Right now, TNC are almost 1,000 up. Again, 2 free kills and a turtle. Sure, say what you want about winning the side lanes, but TNC have the main arteries. They took that major objective, and they're bullying Aurora right now. Big fights belong to them, sure. Oh my god, Light commits it, and the tech charge, and the pulse. I mean, that's a roamer.
That's a roamer right there. Zyda's waiting here patiently. 3Mar's here too. Are they going to go for some type of counter punch? It's Light that they do the brunt of the damage. He's fine. He's tanky enough on this Grok. But that's the thing. You know, if TNC wants to maintain the lead that they're going to be able to build, they have to also just watch out for those setups, because Aurora knows that they can go ahead and get those pickoffs if they want to, especially with a tech charge in the hands of Light. Again, this Grok in conjunction with having a Kimmy in hand is tough to deal with. It's a lot of crowd control that can be thrown at you in different ways, even in some of these fights, in some of these close areas.
It's both burst and DOT. If the Grok catches you the right way, next thing you know, there's magic and physical damage coming your way. You don't even know how to build items. TNC, now they lost the lead.
Yeah, they lost the lead.
It goes to Aurora now. It's this fundamental understanding of the game's economy and tempo and pacing that has led Aurora to become #1 in Season 16.
Look at this zoning that they're doing. Whoa, Edward taking a ton of damage.
A flicker tech charge takes out Zyda. And Chaknu in the back tries to save his roamer. Save his jungler, but it's not going to happen. Lancey overshoots. AOG by the Mamba catches Edward, but he doesn't care. He's going to put stacks on him via the Ionic Edge. Down goes the Gatot as Demon Kite takes care of the turtle.
And they'll get the objective. They got the kills. Benny stayed to farm. That was a great team fight for Aurora. Notice how they decided to go about that fight, even waiting on some of the entry points that TNC went with. But then again, a great use of Light, using that tech charge. And then they disengaged when they had to. They still fought for the space and objective, and then they won that battle. So now Aurora is the one with nearly a 1,000K gold lead. Oh, Edward, is he going to be able to get away?
He's fine. Mr. Consistent, didn't even sweat it. That's 3Mar and Zyda, 2 of TNC's best on his butt. And he just turned around, showed him his.
He showed him his.
Yeah.
He is Uranus.
I like that.
You like that?
I like.
Hey, he's got the Oracle already too. You know, that's about all he needs right now.
And the Warrior Boots.
And the Warrior Boots to be tanky enough and just relying on the Ionic Edge and then the whole passive and Consecrate. He's tanky enough, man. And the problem about this is if TNC decides to put too much into Edward or, you know, throw themselves at him, then they're going to be wasting those precious resources that they need as he continues to build up more physical defense. Because when you look at the lineup over here for TNC, that's the majority of it, right? They have very little magic damage, who's mostly going to be from Lancey, and he's been holding on to the tech charge mostly.
It's little to none. I'll tell you that much. That is the traction pulse thrown out by Yue. Just to zone out that bottom. 3Mar and Demon Kite going 1v1. And for some reason, 3Mar is walking away.
Oh,
he misses the full combo, and in comes the rest of Aurora. They take down 3Mar. Light going 3v1. Light might have got caught out. Demon Kite dealing the damage. That's a full-on lane switch. Mount Chakra both thrown at. That Doming Kite is still going to continue pressuring that turret.
Yeah, look at this. Also the push up here. Still Edward just doing his thing. Again, you're kind of left to make a decision here if you're TNC. Where do we put our focus on? We're starting to slip away from that lead that we did have for a little bit for TNC. That's what they're thinking. Now Aurora almost 3K ahead. They're going to go ahead and start with the next turtle. Whoop.
Traction pulse forcing a flicker away from Lancey.
Chaknu was there. He gives the information, but I think they just got to give this one up. I don't think they have any room to actually contest this. And now on the run.
Oh my God, Lancey tech charge back. And that was post-turtle take. Yue dealing a lot of damage out of Zyda. The flicker, the tech charge, Zyda falls once more. The only thing TNC can do is send Benny over to the long lane and say, Benny, just farm up. Just farm up, Benny!
Just farm Benny and now run, Benny!
Oh no! I think he threw out the HOB. No one to save him. 4 members of Aurora. He gets blinded by the Northern Lights. Aurora are approaching a 4K gold lead.
Oh man, if there's a Phoenix Flash, what is that? What about the Auroras? What do they have? Don't they? Oh no! Chaknu!
What was he doing trying to stay underneath the orange?
Okay.
Aurora commit Grand Theft Orange. Lancey here gets caught out. No tech charge on this proc. The AOG jumping in. Hit crack him open. The clap back from Aurora. Chaknu falls roamer for roamer. Call it Mortal Kombat as Edward holds the line. 4 members of TNC can't crack this Uranus.
And now Aurora is playing around Uranus. They're gonna go ahead and continue to put
Zaida again!
As I mentioned it!
Off of Edward! Uranus shouldn't be that painful.
Well, he's dancing all over the place right now, man. Edward's feeling darn good, 3-0-2.
Someone check on him.
He's got the blade armor now as well. I mean, Edward, he fears nothing with this physical, dominant lineup that TNC brought to game 1. What is going on here? Lancey, too, he's been holding on to all these tech charges. Oh, they're going to be forced off the tier 1 turret. They'll disengage off of it, get back to base, but TNC, they got to scrap for something here. I was talking about Benny on the Obsidia. He's had plenty of time to farm up, but even Aurora decided, hey, that's enough, Benny. You're not going to be farming anymore.
Last night.
Falling further and further behind. I mean, you look at this and you're like, man, we're facing down a massive deficit already at this point in the game.
All right, fortunately, they have a Gatot Kacha to hold the line. They have a Mount Shocker to provide vision to see exactly where there are hostiles. This is a dance that I'm not so sure that TNC should be taking.
I think they want to take a risk.
Less than half health.
They're going to take the risk. They actually get the flicker out. Benny's still alive. He's trying to get the space. They're going to disengage. Lord resets, though, and no one goes down the exchange, so it looks like it's going to be a reset unless they do get the vengeance out here.
Dominkite wailing away with them yo-yos, puts Chaknu at 1/10 of his health. Surprisingly, no one falls. Aurora may have been holding out. I think that's all they wanted out of TNC. This is scarier than expected. Joseph, I would have expected people to die.
Yeah.
But Aurora were smart enough to know we don't have to fully commit. TNC are putting up smokes and mirrors. They're not really ready to fight. They're just forcing us to commit.
And now, what they did is they got all the ultimates that they needed down, the battle spells too. The TNC, they went in hot. They ran out so quickly, man. The fire ran out.
It's a stroke of genius. Again, they could have forced themselves to fight and get kills. I think TNC were expecting that. But Roro one-upped them and said, no, sir.
No, sir. You don't have enough experience here.
Exactly.
And with this, man, I don't know, Aurora, they're going to get that Lord. It is that first one to go ahead and push it in the base. But with this kind of lead and this kind of lineup, they could potentially force a fight that TNC's not ready for.
That's what this lineup is so good at. Non-committal engagement. See, they can just throw attraction falls and check. How do they react?
Yep.
All right, we go in. And they can just say, we don't go in, we can go again.
We can go again. And the trick to this too is Light, once that flicker's available, he might try to make a play. So the Lord charges in. Holy Shields were still up, but it is expended now in the bottom, the mid lane, and top. Top still holds for a little bit longer, but they'll do some damage on these mid-base turrets of TNC. Lancey's holding on to his tech charge again. Do they want to go ahead and try to force a turnaround here? Threemar already using that Bravest Fighter. He's going to be fine. They hold off for now. TNC with the defense for now.
And this is such a lethal juxtaposition of these two lineups. Aurora, they can play hard and fast with their ults. Like, they can just throw out attraction falls and say, yeah, we're fine, we still have a tech edge waiting, a curtain call. The exit plan for Demokite is still safe, he has that. Phantom Execution, while TNC, they're so ult-reliant. Aurora can count. Mount Shocker check, Bravest Fighter check, IMU check, they have nothing left.
They have nothing left, man. Ult-reliant, but at the same time...
start of it, dog.
Yeah. I mean, even looking at the items here, you still need plenty of time. Lancey did pick up a Divine Glaive, so he's got that. You can see there's some damage being pumped out now from Benny Cutie, but he's still far away from what we saw, the shades of that Obsidia last night, where he was just dominating. So they definitely need that time. I think even in the sense when Chaknu and Threemar get a little more tanky, a little more durability in their hands here, they'll be okay to go ahead. But, you know, mind you, when that Lord came up earlier on, even if they were down 5,000 gold, dude, they chose to fight it anyway. Now, if they choose to do that again by the time the next Lord is up in less than 30 seconds, and they've bought themselves a little more extra damage, a little more durability, then they might be in a position to actually beat AURORA in a fight.
Yes, but no, because AURORA are now up 8,000 gold.
It's 8,000 gold, man, but I'll tell you what, we've seen turnarounds before. And if it depends on how TNC plays that fight. I think the biggest factor is Chaknu, for the most part, hasn't been able to get those setups on the AOGs we're looking for. And even to an extent, again, the setups aren't just in their favor.
I don't think it's going to happen. AURORA are just so good at dispersing and regrouping. And look, they can try to contest, but just the fact that Zaida doesn't know what's happening in that Y brush, and how AURORA are holding these choke points, he wouldn't even dare come close. Free Lord for the Northern Lights.
And they had to clear out that minion. They kept Benny up top. So he's got his orange buff here. Again, itemization-wise, Benny, he doesn't have much of a choice. He's just going to have to defend, man. He's going to have to pull something out of here. I think a big part of this is Lancey. You know, our panel talked about Lancey, especially for this matchup, especially what we saw him do yesterday. And I think this is a moment where he steps up. A big tech charge in this base defense could actually change, I feel like, the game here. It's one of those moments where, again, this lineup, you can't count it out completely. Lancey, yeah, he's got a little bit of damage. He's about the only magic damage over here, but he's able to set something up. That's where then, you know, Benny Cutie unleashes. He's getting closer. He's got his Haas Claws, Corrosive Scythe, and he's building into what? His fourth item. Probably defensive he's going to need.
All right, with this Lord and the rest of the waves crashing in, 10K up, I think AURORA are going to be happy with just a bare base. I don't think they can end it now. Capture Pulse, thrown over. Light spends that enhanced basic attack. Chaknu blocked off from the exit point, the rampart. Bottom lane inhibitor falls. See how AURORA's taking it slow?
Yep.
They know that they have to do this. They have to take the discipline route towards the end. Brave is fighting by 3mar.
Oh, 3mar jumps in. There's an AOG already too. 3mar, though, he's in trouble here. Can he escape?
Plus attack! Charge as Lancey falls! Paired up 4 in light. Turret still standing. Benny Cutie almost bites it.
Oh!
As the Mamba falls! Yue gets a double! The base is gonna be up next. Mount Sharker by Zaida. I don't think they can clear the waves. 3mar, less than half health. Look at the base. Traction Pulse. Thrown out one more time as the next inhibitor, the last one, falls. 4v3. TNC are holding on. 3mar in the middle of it all.
Oh, 3mar, he takes the brunt of the damage. He was trying to clear the waves, but that's it.
It's over. TNC get wiped out as AURORA blind them in the first game of this best of 5. 1-0.
A valiant effort to defend there.